This is a day that we always talk about, Memorial Day. You know, it's either going to be a happy one or one that you got to go back to work. And this one, unfortunately, is you got to go back to work. So, I congratulate the teams that got in. It's not an easy thing to do. And we're not one of the teams that got in. So now we got to just go back to work and get ourselves ready and get back in this thing for next season.
You're not a what if guy, but there's 25 or something games decided by 2 runs or less. Just kind of, are those close games what you think were the downfall in the end?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, I think you control your own destiny. I'm never one that complains about other teams that got in. You got to focus on your body of work, and our body of work just wasn't good enough. You know, we had so many games that we lost by 1 run or 2 runs that could have went here, could have went there, a run here, a run there. We could have stayed longer in the tournament. You know, we blew a 4-run lead. Throughout the season, we had opportunities, and we just didn't get it done. So at the end of the day, you've got to, get through your exit meetings, get all you guys out for summer ball, see what the draft's going to do, hit the road recruiting throughout the summer like we normally do, and then from there try to rebuild yourself for the following season and hopefully take care of those 1-run games next season.
How did the team obviously disappointed about that?
Well, you can't do anything special until you get into the field of 64. That's the whole thing, because a lot of teams can get hot once you're in there. There's a lot of things can happen once you get in there. We've seen that with us as an example, but you've got to get into the 64. And it's not easy today. I mean, there's so much parity in college baseball today. You've got to really take care of the things along the way. And you preach it, and some people, can take it serious, and some people think, well, 1 here, 1 there is not that big of a deal. But those things add up at the end of the season. And so what you got to hope is that your returning players feel this. We always feel bad for the senior class anytime we don't make the field, because they put in a lot of hard work and a lot of effort, to get turned away. But hopefully the returners can take this as a lesson and build on it for next season.
Did you think the conference was deserving of more than one because of how high its RPI was at 10, or do you think that shouldn't be a factor?
Well, the way we look at it, when we meet our meetings in August every year, is we want to try to be at least a 2 or 3 team league. We don't want to go back to being a 1-team league. So I think all of us have to wear that disappointment. I mean, our whole goal is to try to make our conference as viable as it can be. When we lost Western and FIU and FAU and Middle. Those were all good baseball teams. None of those teams are in the field of 64. But we've got to just all stay committed to our RPIs, committed to making our conference the best we can be, because that sometimes is what can protect you when you're on the bubble, is your conference. And so we all have to do a better job, including myself. You want your conference to be the best it can be. And we need to get back to being more than a 1-team league.
Was it deserving, though, or were the resumes just not there?
I don't know. That's the NCAA's job. I've never really been one to look at other than us. I've answered that question a lot throughout the year to you guys, that I always concentrate on us. And we had our opportunities along the way, and we didn't take care of enough of them. We weren't consistent enough. But, you look at the national champion from last year is not in the field, and that just goes to show you that this is not an easy thing to do. We've been very fortunate to make the run we did for the last 4 years. But now what we've got to do is regroup and get back in it, and it starts, when we start fall ball this upcoming fall.
Do you think going to single elimination hurt you guys in the end, or since you weren't in the first 4 out, does it not really matter?
Well, again, I think, having the double elimination tournament lets you play longer. Maybe you can up your RPI, potentially, yes. But at the end of the day, the rules were clear. We all knew it was a single elimination tournament. And we had a 4-run lead in the 9th, and we didn't take care of our business. And so I can't point the fingers at anybody except me. I'm the leader. I've got to do a better job this upcoming year and get us back into a regional.
What can you say about Gunner's performance on Friday and just all year?
It was phenomenal. You know, he went out there and he didn't feel the greatest, but he settled in and loosened up a little bit. And once he got through the seventh, I told him to make sure that, you know, I never want to win a game over somebody being injured. Make sure you communicate to me throughout the game. I had our trainer communicating to me throughout the game with him. After he came out in the seventh, he said, you know, I think that's enough. So we said, no problem. Because it was a single elimination tournament, we were trying to keep Wyatt's slider fresh for the next day. When Wyatt does come in, he threw right at 20 pitches. 18 of those were sliders. So what you have to watch out for is if you throw him back-to-back innings, if you want to use him the next day, the slider is not always as sharp. And so because it was a single elimination tournament, we wanted to take him. He threw 20 pitches, 18 sliders. We had a 4-run lead. We came in with Debo to try to save him so that tomorrow he would be just as sharp because you don't have that extra day. A double elimination tournament, I probably can, you know, use him another inning, give him off a day, then bring him back the next day. With a single elimination tournament, we were trying to trim 20 potential pitches off of him. And the game turned on us, got fast, and we didn't slow it down fast enough, and we still had a chance to win it with a 2-out base hit. And so we had our chances. We didn't get it done. You hate ending on something that you had a lead and knowing that you were 3 outs away from moving to the next day. But it did happen. But, you know, when you take in the whole season, I just think we lost a lot of one-run games that we could have won along the way that I think would have ensured us better with our RPI.
The tightness was in the back.
Huh?
In the back.
Yes, yeah.
How much do you think the St. Peter series hurt you? And with the benefit of hindsight, obviously, any regrets on that, or is it just it comes down to?
Well, I just think what you have to do is you just have to work really hard to protect your RPI. Next year, the schedule favors us really good, and you're gonna have to really concentrate maybe on conferences that you protected a little bit because of their RPI. There are some teams that can have a good RPI one year, but then the next year it could be bad, whereas some conferences don't differ as much. So you know, you will have to constantly go back and look at the RPI. Schedules are made so far in advance. That's the dangerous thing. And we also made that schedule 2 years in advance with anticipation of the stadium being up. And we didn't want to play too many road games with the suite holders and everything. And so, you know, we needed that weekend. We had to get somebody to come in. We couldn't fill it. We tried as hard as we could, but couldn't. And we filled it. And, you know, nobody could have told us that they wouldn't have won one game. You know, but I'm not going to sit here today and disrespect, you know, somebody else's program or university. And, you know, I'm the leader. So everything this year falls on me. So ultimately, you know, I approved it. And so from this point on, we'll look harder and then just make sure that we're doing everything we can to just protect our RPI. And there's 2 ways to protect it. 1, schedule it. 2, to win games. And I still think if we'd have won enough games, we could have overcame that. You know, I think that's glaring because we didn't get our job done, and now we want to circle back and hang that on a weekend series. I don't think you can do that. I think you've got to hang it on your body of work. Our body of work just wasn't good enough.
Is that what you could have been here next year?
Yes,
For one or is here?
1. But we played it twice because of a lot of money.
Is there any more clarity with your draft expectations at this point?
No, you know, that the drafts, we handle that like pretty much all the coaches handle it. It's not a clear-cut situation because you don't know where they're going to get drafted. You don't know if they underperformed, overperformed when somebody saw them at the end for the final view. You don't know how the other guys are going to go before them or after them. All the money pools. Each team has a different money pool. So you got to see who drafts them. Is it a team that has a big money pool or is it a team that has a small money pool? Do they slide past the 10th and now the money's going to be an issue? So it's always a wait and see. Each kid kind of has an idea about what it'll take for him to go. We leave that with them and their families as a personal thing. and then from there we let the draft play itself out, and then we'll talk to each one of them and see what happens with the draft.
With the incoming freshmen and the guys you know you have returning, what are you looking forward to for next year?
Well, I mean, every year's a new year. No matter, whether, like I was talking to Coach Gilmore, you won a national championship. The next year is a different year. It's whether you come off something that's good or whether you come off with something bad, it's still a new year. And so we go right back to setting our goals again. 40 wins, conference championship, conference tournament championship, and getting to the regionals and hopefully host. That's our goals. And so we'll start over again with those goals. And hopefully we've got some good young kids coming in that can get in here and develop, because that's the key to this. If you look at the teams that have gone on to be really good, from Jace Conrad, Ryan Leonard, Strength, Austin, those years, those runs, those were all freshmen that came in. If you looked around the diamond, Thurman, all those guys we got here as freshmen, and they developed. And so that's what we want to do. We want to try to build around the young guys that are coming in. Hopefully the returners can draw back from this season and learn from it, and then try to get a good mix and then see what the draft does to us, and then work to put those pieces together and get after it. But our goals won't change.